Well, hello to everyone and anyone who's bothering to watch this. This is just a little bit of a something different for me. Just taking a look at this new toy I've gotten for a new thing I'm checking out, which is, of course, Ultraman, which is a series I've recently discovered that I kind of have a form of a liking towards, which has kind of been a slow thing coming, because I started with that animated Ultraman on Netflix that's adapting a manga, apparently, back when that came out a couple of years ago, and at the same time, I saw Marvel was making Ultraman comics, so I chose to start reading those, and I was enjoying both. But the Netflix show has ended. There's supposed to be a movie coming out soon, but that movie's not connected to the show, and the comics have been taking forever to make their next miniseries. So I decided to start watching the proper tokusatsus, and they really just clicked with me in a way the other stuff doesn't. Like, I've seen the Kamen Riders, the Power Rangers, the Sentais, the Godzillas, the Gameras. Not everything ever from those franchises, of course, just the stuff that sounded interesting to me. And, I liked them. Some parts of them I really loved, like the Super Sentai where they used the trains, because I love me some trains. And it's also just a generally good show. And I'm mad that the US will never get a version of that one. But Ultraman just really, something about it just hit me in a way those other franchises don't. And I was like, well, I know who I am. I gotta get some toys based on this IP. And I, of course, started here with the best, the greatest, the definitive Dinosaur Tank. Unquestionably the greatest monster of them all. Sorry, Godzilla, this guy is the true king. And yeah, he came like this. Well, I mean, he came in a box, but he was in this, and the box got some warning about how this bag could kill children. Yeah, well, always gotta include that. And of course, here he is. He doesn't really do anything other than look awesome, and I mean, you can kind of turn him a bit. You're clearly not supposed to do this, because look at that, it's clearly limited, but I mean, you can still move him like that if you want. And of course, he's got this big old tag sticking out of his neck. It's got a screenshot from the show on it, because he is from the Ultra 7 series, which is the second Ultraman series, or I guess technically the third, because there was apparently some other show called Ultra Q that didn't even have any superheroes in it. And yeah, and I know from videos I've seen from other people talking about these soft vinyls that apparently people don't really like it when you remove the tags from these vinyls, but I'm doing it. There we go. Because I need my Dinosaur Tank. Oh, is it not focusing? Come on, Dinosaur Tank. There we go. Anyway, I need my Dinosaur Tank as just a pure Dinosaur Tank. I don't need him dragging around screenshots of himself, because he is just cool as he is. And yeah, he doesn't really do much. I'm honestly not shocked about that, because I have watched videos on other various monster vinyls, but I mean, does he need to do anything? I mean, look at him. He's a big, fat T-Rex with no legs, riding around on a tank with 3 cannons. See, free. And, that could have been enough. This is already greatness right here. This is already one of the most amazing things ever. But the people making the show were like, no, we gotta go beyond. And they gave him frickin' laser eyes. I mean, come on. Come on. Best monster here. Best monster. And the fight with him is shockingly brutal. Like, Ultra 7 gets wrecked by this dude. Like, he is just smashing him around with his tail, and there's a bit where he runs over his arm and just, like, crushes it completely between his treads. Like, it is one of the most brutal fights in all of the Ultra stuff I have seen, which is really not everything, because with all of these big franchises that go on forever, I don't check out everything. I just check out the stuff that sounds interesting to me, which I usually, when it comes to tokusatsu stuff, I usually based off of the theme and the character designs, but hey, it's worked out decent for me so far, so why change it? And, yeah. And also, I believe there is, because I was looking through the Ultraman wiki about this toy, some facts about it. I think there's 2 versions of it with 2 colors, but this one is slightly more accurate to the show. So I like that this is the version I have, and he's got some fun details. He's got his little diamond-y square spine. He's got some tech stuff on his hips. That's kind of interesting. He's got this big seam through the back of his tank, which I'm curious why that's there from a construction purpose, because I know obviously his tail probably needed to be a separate piece, but I'm wondering why they had to make the tank 2 different pieces. It's just interesting how these are made, because of course these are hollow, because they're soft vinyl toys. You can kind of squish them. Kind of. It's got no teeth in the front. Which is making me think of that Studio Series Grimlock everybody complained about. Apparently this is a common thing for dinosaur toys. You can even see your little tongue in there. And here's the front of the tank. Got his cannons. And underneath, he's got this little divot. And from what I read online, because this is technically from a relaunch of the vinyl monsters for Ultraman called Ultra Monster 500. And the point was that these were in the show for a little bit as a thing called Spark Dolls, and you could use this little hole somehow to put them on the role-play toys and make sounds. I don't really care about that. I'm not a role-play guy. I'm just a figures and cars and playset guy. I've been like that since I'm a kid. Was a kid. Gonna be like that as a collector. Role-play ain't really my thing. I respect it. If that's your type of toy, awesome. Never been mine. I did not buy this to make some sounds on some changer. I bought this to be Dinosaur Tank. And, you know, I'm pretty happy about this. And, yeah. And apparently they don't do this anymore, because I know apparently this line is called Ultra Monster 500 because it cost 5 yen. So, like, that's the joke. Haha. And then they changed it to just Ultra Monster Series, which is apparently what it was called before because inflation raised the prices. And I don't think they do the role-play thing anymore. And yeah, he's very small. He's very small because the line is 6 inches, and they were like, no, this is 6 inches, his length, so he is out of scale. I don't have any Ultras yet to put him with to show that, so I'm just going to bring in my Nightcrawler that I got in the mail recently. Pick up the camera. See? Basically, his length is his height. So, like, if you got Ultras, or when I get Ultras, this obviously ain't going to be to scale. But, I mean, imagine how... if he was this big, because this is how it'd have to be show accurate, except of course Nightcrawler would be in focus because he wouldn't be in the background. And like, yeah, this would be a big toy. So I get downscaling him. And you know, he really does not do anything other than look good. But you know, that's all he needs to be, because you can just do that. And that's how, You have your monster fights, and any of your toy fights, really. Like, you don't really need a high articulated version of this guy. Would it be cool to have a filled in proper plastic one so he could have wheels under there and roll properly? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Be pretty fun. But it's not necessary. You know, I like to say that a lot of times toys can and usually are at their best when they are cheap, simple, and fun. And this is a cheap, simple, fun toy based off an amazing creature concept from a fun series that I'm growing to enjoy, and I'm really starting to consider myself a fan of. Get out of here, Nightcrawler. So that was just my little quick look at my Ultraman Ultra Monster Series 500 Dinosaur Tank. And, hey, thanks to anybody who bothered to watch this. Bye.